Hello, everyone. Welcome to the CrossTalk podcast. Today we have a new addition. Austin, who was in our last episode, is actually going to be our official co-host for every episode, so he'll be joining us.
Yeah, that's right. I've been promoted by Noah to not just a guest, but to a host, and I'm pretty excited about this. We're going to be doing this every week, which is going to be really fun because it's going to be interesting to see all of these podcasts accumulate throughout the weeks and see what we're talking about and give a perspective on modern day news in the gaming and media world. But Noah, how are you doing this week?
I am doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I've been playing a lot of Rocket League actually this week.
Yeah.
I've recently gotten into Rocket League. Have you ever played that?
I played it a couple times. Xavier, one of our friends, Gabe and I played it with him, and he ended up getting a little irritated with us because we didn't know what we were doing. And that's about my experience with Rocket League.
Well, the thing about Rocket League is, and I mean, it's a very big learning curve. Like, it's not the kind of game that you pick up and you just play, you know?
Yeah.
It takes a good solid week, I would say, to even become somewhat competent at the game. I remember I got my friend Ethan into it from Two Guys Play, and I had been playing it for about a month when I got him into it, and I told him, I was like, dude, for right now, because he was asking me, like, how do you do aerials? How are you doing this? How are you doing this? I was like, dude, for now, just focus on hitting the ball. You don't even have to hit it in the right direction. Just hit the ball. And if you can do that, then you're doing better than I did on my first day. Because legitimately,
I was so lost when I played it. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where the ball is. I can't keep up with this shit. It's going too fast.
Oh, yeah, and the physics of that game, it's a physics-based game, which obviously the physics of the ball aren't going to be exactly what you would expect them to be. So you have to really get used to the way the ball bounces, and I think that was the part of the game for me that took the longest to get used to. But now I'm working my way up to plat, so I feel like I've gotten okay at the game, but yeah, that's been basically my gaming freaking life for the past little bit. I stopped playing Fire Emblem Three Houses because I deleted my file, and I tried to start a Let's Play of it, but we'll see how that goes. My heart belongs with the Golden Deer Alliance. I can't bring myself to do a playthrough with the Blue Lions. That's what I'm struggling with right now with that playthrough. But that's another story. What have you been playing?
I don't know. I don't even know what any of that means. I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
Maybe you should, man. It's phenomenal.
I've thought about it. I have a couple of friends that really like it, and I don't know. But I've been playing. I picked ukulele back up because
I saw you were playing that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like an on and off kind of game for me because it's really boring.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on ukulele this long after release?
I thought that the first world was really fun, and then the rest of the game kind of sucks.
Yeah, I've seen like clips from the game, and like it just looks like a huge open sandbox with nothing in it, especially for the later worlds.
It's like Nuts and Bolts, where it's got that like similar problem, but without the fun of like building your own car and stuff. It's quite boring.
The fun of building your own car? You mean the torture?
Well, I don't know.
I
don't like the game because it's not a Banjo-Kazooie game. But if it were a standalone game, it'd probably be a lot more fun in my eyes. Because it's like you see it now, and it like soiled the series. So I can't get past that.
I'll tell you, I hear that from everybody. Like everyone who's played that game is always like, it's a good game, but it's a horrible Banjo-Kazooie game.
Yeah, it's nothing like the previous game. I don't know why they slapped Banjo-Kazooie on the title, because it was such a disappointment for people that were looking forward to the new Banjo game. Now, if it was like a new rare IP or something, I think it would have done a lot better.
It's like JonTron's video. He says it should have been TikTok's Nuts and Bolts, not Banjo-Kazooie's Nuts and Bolts, and it would have been a way better game.
We can't talk about him. What?
Why?
I'm just kidding.
JonTron is copyrighted.
No, he's He's been canceled, dude. You can't talk about canceled people.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Well, we half of our topics cannot be talked about because everyone at some point has been canceled.
Yeah.
Dang,
How long before the game base gets canceled, man?
Not long. I would say.
Probably a thin line for me. Probably already there.
I can just see it now. The game base was talking on episode 43 of the CrossTalk podcast when he said, "You know, well, I'm not really feeling it," and then I did something just so casual, and I just get canceled.
I was waiting to see what you're gonna go with. I'm like, is he gonna cancel himself right now with the joke?
I wasn't gonna give context to what I wasn't feeling because I know how that works. But yeah, the thing about this podcast is there's gonna be at least an hour of me just talking for every week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going
you're gonna mess up, dude.
At one point, I'm going to mess up and get canceled. But this isn't on our topic list, and I don't even know how up to date you are with this. But did you see ProJared tried to make a comeback?
Dude, I watched the whole 40-minute video.
Oh, well, let's talk about it. This is
I didn't even
nice.
think about that.
This is nice. Okay, this is nice. We're talking about getting canceled. No one has been canceled in 2019 more than ProJared. Imagine we're about to get canceled because we're talking about this controversial topic. I also watched the full video. Me and Noah have never even discussed this situation.
Yeah, I've totally forgot about it until you just brought it up.
Yeah, so I'm very, very excited that you've seen the whole video because we can actually talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, Noah, what'd you think of the video?
I think the FBI is waiting outside the door, waiting for me to misspeak or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. He had some evidence, but like I don't know. He kind of did the thing that he accused other people of doing, where he just kind of says stuff, but he doesn't really have evidence to back some of it up. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel.
Well, the thing about it is, I went into the video. And I was like, oh, man, here we go. Let's see how many dislikes this thing has.
Yeah.
And it had like 50,000 likes and like 5,000 dislikes. And I was like, what?
I was like, did he effectively stray public opinion? Or what?
So once I saw the like to dislike ratio, I was like, this must be a pretty decent video, at least. And I was like, this guy had to have spent the last 3 months doing something. He had to have some kind of, evidence. And I will say about ProJared, by the way, let's just start this off with, I still think ProJared's a piece of garbage. He's irredeemable in my eyes.
I think everybody in this situation it's
exactly
just a dumpster fire. It's everybody's guilty of something in this, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, and but I will say about ProJared in this video, he completely, in my opinion, disproved the biggest and most crucial claims against him, which were that he tried to send nude pictures to minors, which in this video is most of what he talked about. And I mean, he completely disproved it, at least for one of them. And for the other one, he made some very good points as to why this guy might not necessarily be should be believed,
Yeah.
It's
no. No. What was I don't even remember what I was gonna say now. Damn.
So I thought that was a very, very strong case in the video. In the part where he basically, I mean, I know he had admitted to it before the big controversy, but just the way he so openly talks about, sending nudes to fans, that is like, that's messed up. I mean, yeah.
And it's obviously an abuse of his power too, because he knows that sometimes fans will do anything to get the attention of like a celebrity like that, and especially since he has such a young audience. I think that's an interesting dynamic to throw in there. Especially when your demographics mostly underage.
Yeah, and also, I mean, when you're in that situation, and I mean, if you're in any situation where you've never met a person and you're just going off, hey, are you 18 plus? And they're like, yeah, I'm 18 plus. If you're freaking ProJared and you have the power that you have, is it not out of this world that a kid might lie to you in order to maintain your attention, in order to continue a conversation?
I think that he did. I think he did that on purpose. I can't say without any evidence, but that's a good way to get out of a situation like that when he's like, "Well, I asked."
Yeah,
it's guy.
And I mean, he did ask. I mean, in the video, he did show that he did ask, and that person was lying about that. So I will give that to ProJared that he did at least ask that person. I mean, there were, and he made the point in the video. People were like, "Well, you should have asked for their ID." It's like, and then he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna freaking get them to dox themselves," which I mean, whatever, I guess. But I think that's just more evidence to this that you just shouldn't have been doing it. Like, why?
Yeah, like, because you can't 100% verify that they're telling the truth anyway, so you really shouldn't have done it in the first place because of that.
Yeah, I mean,
so you put yourself in this situation because you're sick, dude.
Yeah, I mean, this dude was messed up. Imagine just having that kind of like an obsession with nudes. I mean, he had a wife, and I mean, he didn't. Here's the part that I didn't believe in. I think his wife's crazy too, by the way. I'm not sitting here. I'm not one of those people.
No, everybody in the situation is just.
Oh yeah, I'm not sitting here being like, Heidi's innocent. I think what she did was insane. He asked for a divorce, and she threatened to blow up his career, and she did it. Did ProJared probably deserve it? Sure, but I mean that doesn't make it any less crazy what she did. But I will say in the video. He was talking about I never cheated on Heidi. Why do their names sound so similar? But he was like, I had asked for a divorce and she declined me, so I just went ahead and did it. And it's just like, for that part, I'm like, ProJared, and conveniently that's the part that he didn't have any evidence for. I'm sure, and we know, go to her Twitter. If you hear Heidi's side of the story, that's not how it went down at all. But I mean,
now that stuff's not important to me because it's like personal stuff, so I don't really care. But if you're a pedophile,
he proved he wasn't a pedophile. At least,
at least situation. With that one case, we don't know yet. I'm not calling him a pedophile. I'm not saying he's not. I don't know. There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, the biggest allegation, though, is it has been disproved. But here's what I'll say. There is no way he did this for as long as he did it and did it with the fans. And more people didn't lie to him and just didn't mention it. You'd have to be so naive to think that. I mean...
See, that's why I think he is a predator, because I think he knows he just doesn't care, right?
Yeah, as long as he asked, it doesn't matter if they lie to me.
Yeah,
it's messed up. ProJared's a pretty messed up guy. I can gladly say, as someone who's been very involved in that community, I was never subscribed to ProJared. So
I've never watched any of his stuff. Well, I've seen his stuff on Normal Boost, but I didn't like his personal stuff. I always thought he was kind of weird. So I guess,
I've always, honestly, I mean, I know this sounds like, looking back on it with the knowledge that we have, but I've always got a weird vibe from him. Like, I don't know if it's the way he looks.
I think it's because he looks like Momo. That's
That's why this got so popular, by the way, because he wasn't the most popular YouTuber in the world, but he's just such a goofy looking guy. And I hate to say it, because, you don't want to sit here and hate on his looks, but I mean, ProJared in particular, he's just a goofy looking dude. And so
I can make fun of him because I'm goofy looking and I can admit it, so it's okay.
Yeah, I think everybody's a little goofy looking, but ProJared in particular is very, very goofy looking. And just the fact that this goofy looking guy is being accused of being a pedophile and cheating on his wife, I mean, he just fits the part so well.
I don't think that he looks weird. I think it's his mannerisms that make him look weird, and his kind of that weird personality that he has that we finally have seen come to the surface. That was manifesting deep down under.
It is.
Now the weird thing about this stuff is like this was kind of like an open secret, kind of like the stuff they got going on in Hollywood and stuff, where like people know but they don't want to talk about it, right? Because it's been the nude Tumblr thing has been openly established for a long time, and most of the fans have known about it.
I didn't know about it.
Well, I didn't know about it then, but the people that were in his fan base knew about it at the time, which is
Is that not like a massive red flag?
I don't know. Well, see, that's where the power dynamic thing comes in. Is it's not a red flag because they're too worried about trying to get his attention that they just don't see it.
Yeah,
especially because they're a younger fan base too, which is why I think he is a predator.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing that doesn't look good for ProJared. All of his fans. We would be on the older end of the ProJared fan base, I would say, if we were ProJared fans, which we're not. I want to make that very clear.
Oh, dude, we just screwed up on the first episode.
Got canceled. We're canceled. Dang it. It was a good run. It's
entirely Austin's fault because I didn't have this on the list of things to talk about. I just want to throw it out there.
Well, we had to talk about it. You brought up people getting canceled. ProJared got canceled. And we have to determine whether he remains canceled.
Did you just use the Uno card on me? The
reverse. Oh no, I definitely brought it up, but I think it was. I mean, it's the most interesting thing that happened on YouTube this week. What do we talk? What is this podcast if we don't talk about the most interesting things that happen on the week?
If we don't ride the line of getting canceled, then what's the point?
Exactly. We are riding that line, but I will say. ProJared remains canceled. Should he go to prison? See, before he was in the state that he should potentially go to jail. Like this man should probably be arrested. Now he is, and I hate cancel culture, by the way. I mean, when I'm saying this, I'm mostly joking, but. ProJared is a very unique case in this, and where he's actually done some pretty bad crap.
I'm actually surprised that the police haven't investigated it yet already.
Yeah, but I will say ProJared, he's kind of. I think he has worked his way to. He's just canceled now, and he's not a criminal. So I mean, he probably still is, but there's at least no evidence against him now, which is good.
We'll see. I bet something will happen in the future.
Yeah. It is a rough situation, but I like I said, I hate cancel culture, but in a situation like this, it's probably good to air some of that stuff out. The part that I hate is like, in 2002, the man-eating turtle said that he hates this in particular thing. And then it's just, and then you're just like, oh, well, I don't feel that way anymore. Then it's like, oh, that doesn't matter. Give me your career. And like that's the cancel culture I hate. And I think some people deserve it. But also, some people don't.
I think the problem is that we're there because people have swept it under the rug for when people actually still believe it. So now that it's become an outrage because they've just kind of thrown stuff under the rug instead of dealt with it. So now we're to this new era where everything's just boop, you're gone.
Yeah. And it stuff that long ago. I mean, I know firsthand that people can change, and the person who said that stuff might not even be the same person who you're ending their career, And so I think it's messed up, but I think that's not a hot take. I think everyone thinks it's pretty messed up, aside from a few K-pop fans who are just absolutely insane and just want to destroy people for fun. But
I don't know anything about the K-pop fans. Yeah, so this is entirely an Austin take. I don't know anything about K-pop.
Apparently, all I know is that they're like the spearhead of cancel culture. I'm sure there are normal K-pop fans out there.
I do see K-pop stuff trending on Twitter a lot, where they're trying to like throw some shade at some other artist because they're trying to get whatever K-pop star they like in the light. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just occasionally see that and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Don't care, but all right.
Well, now that we can stop talking about pedophiles, a new SpongeBob game got announced. So
I thought we can go into the other one right straight from this one.
just got to segue off that real quick. But it was a good conversation. I hope we can have conversations like this throughout the podcast because, I don't want to. I hate like having to walk the line between like, is this gonna get me canceled? It's like, obviously we're not gonna say anything too bad. At least maybe some stuff that can be perceived as bad. But anyway, well, out of context clips for the podcast, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody, you could take anyone who's in the public eye, take one comment out of context, and then freaking boom, it's over. You could take a clip of me in this podcast being like, ProJared
especially
is not the. I probably said something like that. Like, he's not that
don't
bad.
do it because you're gonna you're gonna give it to him right now.
But anyway, let's talk about this remake, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. What was your experience with the game before they announced this remake?
I knew that it was a really good game, and I've seen other people play it online. I've always kind of wanted to play it myself, but I've actually never played the original. The only SpongeBob game I've ever played is kind of one of the bad ones, but I liked it because I was a kid. It was Creature from Krusty Krab. So that's my experience with SpongeBob games. But after watching the trailer, and because I was going to get around to playing it anyway, but now I'm just going to play the remake because why not? I mean,
oh yeah, I'll tell you, if you played Creature from the Krusty Krab, you've not played a good SpongeBob game. It is,
at least it wasn't Flying Dutchman, because that one is so bad.
I've seen that one. It pales in comparison. I'll tell you, Battle of Bikini Bottom is one of the best 3D platformers I've ever played. I have had the luxury of growing up with this game. I've had this game for as long as I can remember, and it is just beautiful. Even if it wasn't a SpongeBob game, it would be phenomenal. But just the fact that it is a SpongeBob game makes it that much better. Because
you pair the best video game of a generation with the best cartoon of a generation, right?
Yeah. It's so faithful to the universe. Like, they really did their homework, and like they made it in SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, you really feel like SpongeBob.
Oh no.
I think I'm gonna make a review of that game and just start it out with that, so I can make it on a video game.
We're gonna hold you
video.
to that.
It'd be the first game. You know, on the game base, it says on my
another shameless
channel,
plug. There it is.
we're gonna have to get used to it, because I'm sure the game base will be talked about a lot on this podcast, as that is my main medium on the internet. But on the game base, on my channel header, it says gaming reviews and more, but like there was never a review, and there never has been a review, and there might not ever been a review. The thing is, I didn't make that header. It was graciously made for me by a fan, and I truly appreciate it.
Maybe they view the kind of videos that you make as reviews.
Yeah, maybe when I'm talking about, you know, how much I hate something, they consider that just a bad review, which I guess you kind of can. You kind of can do that, but
hot takes with the game base. That's what you can call it.
But anyway, I was actually in the middle of a playthrough of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom when the remake was announced. I was at rock bottom, which, if you've not played the game, which you haven't, is about halfway through the game. So I was about halfway through a 100% playthrough of the game. So
100%.
Oh yeah, I was getting everything. I was getting all the socks, getting all the spatulas. I mean, I had never beaten the game before. So I was like, that was what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to beat this crap for the first time ever. But they announced the remake, and I just stopped. I'm like, I'm gonna play the remake.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I do have more experience with the game. I watched Super Mega play it. I'm watching their playthrough right now.
Oh yeah, it's a great playthrough too.
Oh yeah, well, everything they do is great. I love that channel.
Oh yeah, I think that might be my favorite channel on YouTube right now.
Yeah, either that one or I still love H3 stuff when he.
Yeah.
I wish he'd upload more comedy videos.
Yeah, it's mostly just the podcast. So
yeah. I mean, I listened to it, but it's not as good as a H3 video.
I watched his Chick-fil-A versus Popeyes thing earlier.
Oh yeah,
where they tried. They said the Popeyes was better. I've got to try this Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Dude, Popeye. Well, I haven't had the chicken sandwich, but I think in general Popeyes is just better. Not just politically. We had this conversation the other day. I don't like Chick-fil-A's politics, but I also don't think their chicken is as good as Popeyes.
See, I don't like Chick-fil-A's politics, but I think their chicken is the bomb. So I feel like
that's the majority of people's opinion. I feel like.
Yeah, it's so good, dude. Like I had Chick-fil-A yesterday, Like, it's too good. It's too good. And
I see it and I'm like, oh, do I want the chicken sandwich? Because that's the only like place I can really get fried chicken in my college town. We don't have a KFC, we don't have a Lee's, we don't have anything like that up here. So it's like, if I want chicken, I have to go there. But I'm like, I don't want to give them money though.
The service is so good though. The service is so good. It's so good. Other than the politics,
I won't give in. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, I'm a weak man, and so I have to. And I love Chick-fil-A. It's probably my favorite fast food restaurant. And maybe if that gets me canceled, then that gets me canceled. But obviously the politics.
I'm still
are stupid.
good. I took a good take.
But we actually had the Chick-fil-A. I had the Chick-fil-A versus Popeyes debate before it was cool at EKU. Ooh. With one of my roommates. I was like, I was just eating a Chick-fil-A sandwich and talking about how good it was. I was like, this is like the bomb. And my friend was like, Popeyes is so much better. And I was like, yeah, right. And he was like, no, it is. And so I was like, you know what? Let's go to Popeyes. Let's go tomorrow. We'll see what this Popeyes is all about. And I remember when I went to Popeyes, I was like, they don't have a chicken sandwich. By the way, what? How did it take them this long to get a chicken sandwich?
Yeah, let's be real. Come on, guys. That's like the big thing. Most people get a chicken sandwich at a chicken place when they go. It's either that or the tenders.
Exactly.
Or you can just slap the tenders on the bread and you can call that a sandwich. It won't be a very good one, but it's at least something.
That's what I got at Popeyes. When I went to Popeyes, I ordered their chicken sliders, I think it was, because I wanted to compare them to Chick-fil-A. And I always get the spicy chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A. And I was like, I remember I asked the person serving me, I was like, hey, do you have a spicy chicken sandwich? And she was like, we have this slider, it's kind of spicy. And I was like, okay, I'll take that. I'm taking 3 of those because they were really small. And I got it, and it was a freaking chicken strip on a piece of bread.
Oh,
and that is a sin. That is a sin, in my opinion. Like, if you're a restaurant and you do that, what is wrong with you? That is not what a chicken sandwich is meant to be, or a chicken slider. If it is a chicken strip, you're meant to eat it as finger food. It doesn't belong between 2 pieces of bread. It won't fit. It won't work. And it didn't work. And so I walked out of there, and the bread was dry. Chick-fil-A, they'll toast their bread. I mean, they'll, I guess toast the bread is the right word.
They like butter the bottom and then put it on the griddle.
And it's so good. And like, it was just like, they took the bun out of the pack and they put a chicken strip between it. And I was like, this is not good. Not only does it
I
not
could go
compete
home
with
and do this
myself. I was like, not only is this not as good as Chick-fil-A, it's not that good, period. But with their spicy chicken sandwich, I looked when I was watching H3. I was like, did they toast the bun? Because I know they didn't when I went there. And they did. They did toast the bun. So
maybe you just went to a bad Popeyes.
Yeah. So, or maybe just with the chicken sandwich, they were just like, let's do what Chick-fil-A's doing because it's working for them. And if we can do it without our stupid politics, we'll take over. And it's working. I mean, who was talking about Popeyes a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, no. My favorite chicken fast food place, that was KFC. I gotta say.
I'll tell you, KFC. I have a very special relationship with KFC. I think KFC is worse than Chick-fil-A, undoubtedly, in my opinion. But I genuinely, and that's someone who's from Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky loyalist, but freaking Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's my favorite fast food restaurant. I mean, just in terms of taste, but
in general, out of every fast food restaurant.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think I'd have to give that to Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah?
No, Freddy's, fries and frozen custard. That's my favorite.
We don't have that around here. That's the first time I've ever heard of that place.
It's kind of like, it's a chain, but it's kind of small.
Is it like a Missouri-specific chain?
Well, it's like in the Midwest, so I don't know why you guys don't have one.
Yeah, well, I live in... Well, let's not say... Cut that out.
Don't dox,
Leave that out.
Put a beep.
Yeah, I freaking gave my hometown. and
here's my address.
The thing about it is, my town has like freaking probably less than 1,000 people in it, so it wouldn't be very hard for someone to come and murder me for saying I like Chick-fil-A.
Oh, we also used your full name in the intro and in title.
Oh yeah,
So
they just have
Google.
to go to like the local BP gas station and be like, hey, you know where Austin Sawyer lives? And it's like, yeah, he lives right down the road. It's like, oh,
and then
dang.
Austin gives his address right there. Oh man, I did it again.
Yeah, because we know everybody. I mean, I know everyone who works at the restaurants in this town. But like I said, I live in a very, 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 very discreet part of Kentucky. So, I mean, the nearest Chick-fil-A is an hour away from me. So, if that shows you how discreet everything is, I don't have a lot of things near me. But what I was going to say,
Chick-fil-A is.
KFC is my meeting spot with my friends from high school, Jonathan and Will. I guess they won't mind if I say their names, as long as I just say their first names.
Yeah. Well, unless they find your address, and then everybody knows who everybody is.
Yeah, but we and in high school we would always meet at KFC, like either after school or on the weekends or something. And so now when we meet up between semesters. We always make a point of it, and it makes me very happy that we always make a point between semesters to meet at KFC and just sit down for like 2 hours and talk. Because we're very real people. You know, we're real in the sense that we know we all three go to different colleges, and we're not going to get to see each other every week or every month or every day. You know, and we're not like the kind of people who are like, our friendship's dead because we don't see each other every day like we used to. Like, we know that's not a possibility. And the great thing about us is we just accept that, and we know it, and we're just like, we're going to make a point to meet up as often as we can. And that's nice. Between every semester when everyone's home. And it's a very nice thing. I always look forward to it. But we never say, let's meet at KFC. We always say, let's meet at the spot. And everyone knows what we're talking about. No one ever says KFC. Because if you don't know what the spot is, you don't deserve to be there, is what we say.
Oh, dude, now I can show up, too, because I know what all the listeners to this podcast
yeah, in between next college
we know what the
semester,
spot is, so let's go, guys.
Everyone's going to come to my local KFC and just see us there and just be like, you doxed yourself on that podcast.
Oh, you mean the KFC and
I mean, no, this is very important. You can't edit this and forget to bleep that out.
Oh, you're going to make me have to listen to the whole thing again to find it.
You've got to promise me right now that you will bleep that out.
I will.
I'm just going to be listening back to it and be, he forgot to bleep it out. And just an absolute nightmare.
And it's on like every platform you can think of, like iTunes.
That shows how casual our conversation got. I mean, we were just talking. Like, I forgot we were podcasting there for a little bit. I was just talking about SpongeBob. Like, geez.
Whew.
Okay.
Oh, he got me laughing now.
But I'll tell you what has me laughing. Luigi's Mansion 3.
It's got you laughing?
It's got me laughing because it looks so bad.
Whoa. What did you just say?
Yeah, you heard what I said.
Oh, man. You're lucky that we're not in the same room because I'd have to deck you for that one.
Well, you can find your way to my room pretty easily now.
Yeah, it's in...
Right, just go back a few minutes on the podcast and see my address.
Dude, what if I put like a 1 second little blip up of your address?
It's just a 1 frame clip of just my exact.
Can you find the cool Easter egg in today's episode?
Just my address. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Send Austin some stuff in the mail. Here's his P.O. box.
Oh my God. But okay, that was a good way to segue into Luigi's Mansion 3. But do I think it looks bad? No, dude. I think it definitely has problems, though. I want to hear what you think about Luigi's Mansion 3 first, though.
I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it because although it's got like kind of the graphical it's like a mixture of the old game with the Dark Moon, which I can live with because we're probably never going to see anything like the original one again. I've come to terms with that. So this is as close as we're going to get, and it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They're not portrait ghosts, they're called character ghosts, but it's the same thing, so I am pretty happy with it.
The thing to me about the character ghosts is like, you know, with the portrait ghosts, they looked like people, you know, they looked scary in a way. But the character ghosts, they have that dumb minion style that the ghosts in Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3 have, you know.
Well, they got to keep, they're trying to keep it in the Mario branding where it's all cutesy and shit. I think Luigi's Mansion should be its own standalone thing so that we can have the real, because the thing I really liked about the first Luigi's Mansion was the graphics, because it looked almost like a Tim Burton kind of claymation movie, almost, with the way the graphics were, and it was like, it was cartoony, but it was more realistic than what we've got now. I don't really know how to explain. It's in this weird art style. I don't even know how to describe what it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about, and the best thing about it was legitimately scary. Like a little kid playing that would get scared by it.
Oh yeah,
and that's what's so beautiful about it, you know. The new game, it's just like, oh, he put a pie in Luigi's face. It's like, you know, it's like, that's not scary. I mean, and I know they don't want to scare their audience because their audience are young kids, and unlike ProJared, they recognize that. And
yes,
bringing it back.
I love that.
Bringing it back. Oh. But also, if Luigi's Mansion didn't scar me for life, and I played it as a kid, it's not going to scar little Jimmy, who's buying it for his Nintendo Switch. Scarred me in a good way.
So
I mean, and also, here's what I'm worried about, and I'm not talking to you about this, but it's a recent epiphany that I've had. I think that the floors are basically going to be missions in Luigi's Mansion 3. And they say that you can explore the mansion like the old one, but here's what I'm worried about. In the demo footage they released at E3, that was a very linear mission-based structure that they followed there to finish that floor. It looked, I mean, it was just Dark Moon, in my opinion, and I'm worried that each floor is going to be basically its own mission, and the mansion won't be very cohesive because, like, they saw the criticism for the first game, but also it's easier to make a mission-based structure. So they're just going to be like, you can go to the previous floor. There's not going to be anything to do on that floor, but if you want, you can walk back there, but the only stuff for you to do is on the floor you're currently on.
Well, the first Luigi's Mansion was somewhat like that. Maybe not to the extent that you think this one might be.
Yeah.
But because, like, instead of thinking of it as in the mission structure, or think of it with the mission structure, where the mission was to get the final key to unlock to go to the next area, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time, you'd go to the next floor and do the stuff up there, and then sometimes you'd come back to the next floor. So I don't know. It's almost like a mission based, just not like each where it's broken up into little bits like it was in Dark Moon. But if the whole floor is considered like a mission,
yeah,
I can see where that'd be okay because it's kind of like the first game.
But with Luigi's Mansion, like, there would always be, no matter what area that you're in, there would be like a couple doors that you can't unlock yet, you know, that are still locked, or they're locked behind just a power that you haven't gotten yet. And that was what was so fun, is when you got a key for one of those old areas, you know, back, you know, I think about when you fight the twins and you go back to that hallway where you fought the baby and the first couple bosses, and you're like, oh, snap, this is part of that family. It's been a long time since I've been here. And you go back through that hallway, and that door's been locked the whole game. And so, you know, when you were there the first time, you were thinking, like, what's behind that door? And it's really cool to go back to these areas and, you know, re-explore them. And it just makes the game feel more cohesive. And I'm worried that the new game's not going to have that. And that once you finish a floor, that's it for the floor. And if that's the case, then why isn't it just a mission structure? Because it's not really an open world.
I agree with you on that, but I think that they're going to try and go back towards the original formula a little bit more, but we'll have to see when it comes out, because
we'll have to see
with the way they show it.
And I'll tell you, no one is a bigger cheerleader for Luigi's Mansion 3 than I am. I mean, I'm buying it either way. Even if like everyone's like, you know what, it's about as good as Dark Moon, I'll still buy it. Because,
well, I don't know if I want to support it then, because then they'll make another one just like it. But if I don't buy it, then maybe they'll go back.
Yeah, and I never finished Dark Moon. I don't know about you.
No, I didn't.
I've tried to play it on 3 separate occasions.
I got bored. I just can't do it.
I like, legitimately, like, I tried to play it through my first time, couldn't do it. Tried to play it through a second time, lost the copy of the game in the middle of the playthrough, just lost it. But then I saw it on sale for like $10 at a place, and I was like, I'll buy it again. $10, I can afford that. And I got it, started playing it again, got bored again, and stopped playing it. I just can't get through it.
Yeah, I get to about the third mansion, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done.
It's just more of the same. Like the missions blend together. It's just like destroy all the cobwebs in this mansion. Then the next one is like destroy all the chandeliers in this mansion. It's just like, it doesn't feel very cohesive and nice.
Luigi's
like
Mansion cleaning simulator.
Yeah, it's rough. Dark Moon, I know it has a lot of defenders, and I mean, it's an okay game in my opinion.
No, I hate all of the defenders. They're wrong.
I do believe they're wrong in my opinion, but also in their opinion they might believe that I'm wrong, which is totally fine. But
which is a wrong opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's the wrong. Yeah, exactly, it is the wrong opinion. But if you want to have that, I mean, you can just make yourself look like an idiot. I mean, that's fine with me.
Make your own country and move to it. No.
A country that we support Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon.
Get out of here. If you're a Dark Moon supporter, get out of here, okay? Okay, thank you.
Oh, man.
That's my Trump impression for the podcast.
Yeah,
you're welcome, folks.
One Trump impression per podcast. That's the limit.
Oh,
We've reached
I could probably do that.
We've reached the limit.
I haven't done my Obama one yet, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Hopefully.
He's the one with the right opinion. I like the old one. It's a lot better. You got the exploration. I love it.
Okay, we're done. I hope Dark Moon isn't. I hope the new game's not like Dark Moon. I couldn't get through it. I tried to play it on 3 separate occasions. Lost my copy once. Bought it again. Couldn't play it. Dark Moon, didn't like it. If you're a supporter of it, then you can get out of this country.
Executive order. That game, it's banned. It's gone.
Oh my God. Hopefully our next president has such a a very distinguishable voice, because Obama and Trump, the great things about them is like they have the most memeable voices.
Well, dude, if Bernie gets it, his voice is good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Luigi's Mansion.
I'm telling you, Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to be the best one. I'm telling Bernie's just a big Luigi's Mansion 3 supporter.
Everyone gets a free copy.
Yeah. I think everyone should get Luigi's Mansion 3 for free. That's what I'm saying. Right, we're going to have to work on our Bernie impression if Bernie gets the nomination.
It's been a while since I've done it. I have to stick my toe back.
I mean, that was the first time I personally even attempted it. I think it wasn't that bad for never even thinking about it.
It also almost sounded like Yogi Bear,
Yeah.
Boo Boo Boy.
Hey, boo boo. Bernie Sanders is Yogi Bear.
Gabe does a really good Yogi Bear.
Oh yeah,
he does it. Yes.
Huh. All right. So let's talk about the results of the Democratic nomination. No, I'm joking. We just get really into who's getting the nomination. If it becomes a politics podcast.
No, I don't want that.
It is a politics podcast, just about the politics of the Luigi's Mansion series.
Yeah, dude. That's the only politics I'm invested in. I'm just kidding. I care. Don't jump me.
Noah doesn't care.
We're gonna get him.
Here's proof that the man-eating turtle doesn't care. It's just
if I don't care, then why am I running for president?
Oh snap! That's true. That's true.
Vote for me. He's my vice president.
Yeah.
Guys, so
2020 is when we're gonna start making a big push.
Oh yeah. I've been thinking about making some fake campaign ads.
Yeah. We're just waiting. We're waiting for the right time to strike. We're waiting until
we're gonna crush the competition. Oh, I just did it. Oops.
Oh, you. Well, all right. You are fired. I fire you from the podcast.
Fire me from my podcast.
On your channel. That's the thing about promoting me. You've given me too much power. Now I can fire you.
Head.
The thing about the Luigi's Mansion is, unlike we kind of disagree, I guess, on Luigi's Mansion 3, where I think it's going to be more of the same, and you are more hopeful that it's going to be better.
I usually get my dreams crushed, though, but I try to be hopeful.
Yeah, see, that's the thing for me. Nintendo's hurt me so many times.
Like with The Last Jedi, I was like, maybe it could be good, and then I go in, and then I come back from the bathroom, and Princess Leia's flying through space, and I'm standing there like, the fuck is this shit? I go to the bathroom, and I come back, and everything's just fucked up. So
it is bad. Like
I no longer go to the bathroom in the movies now.
The thing is, I didn't go into The Last Jedi with any skepticism whatsoever. I went in thinking it was going to be great, and was just severely disappointed. It would be like if I went into this Luigi's Mansion game and thought that it was going to be as good as the original, and then it ended up being Dark Moon 2. Like, that was my...
me with Dark Moon.
Yeah.
Like, no!
That was my experience with The Last Jedi. But for me, Dark Moon, I never even... Like, I always kind of knew. I remember when it got announced, I was like, oh my God! It was like one of the first E3s like I had ever like really watched. Like, I had sat down and watched the whole thing. And I remember they announced, like, I think they announced both Paper Mario Sticker Star and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the at the same time, and I was like, yes, new Paper Mario game and new Luigi's Mansion game, let's freaking go. And one of them ended up being legitimately one of the worst games I've ever played, and one of them ended up being a mediocre shell of the original. So,
and then I quit playing video games forever.
Yeah, that's why you don't get your hopes up, kids. Always go into things thinking they're going to be horrible.
Big bowl of depression.
That's why I think I'm going to have such a good time at Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker, because I think it's going to be such a train wreck that...
Dude, if you just set your expectations just so low that if you come out, you'll be like, oh, wasn't that bad, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. I've never had lower expectations for a movie than I have for this movie. I mean, there is absolutely... I think it's going to be a disaster, but I'm going on opening night. I'm so excited to see this train wreck that, like, I can't wait.
I wonder how, I don't know how J.J. Abrams, he's going to come back, and he's going to, because he set stuff up in The Force Awakens, and then they gave Rian Johnson the role because J.J. Abrams was busy with something else. And everything that J.J. Abrams set up in The Force Awakens, instead of answering... in the next one, Rian Johnson's like, why don't we make more questions instead of answering the other ones, right? Huh?
And just ruined it.
Just everybody at Disney was like, yeah, this man right here.
They went for shock factor over good storytelling, 100%. Like, all they wanted was us to be like, Snoke died! And, like, that was the moment. But instead, we could have had, like, one of the best characters in Star Wars, Snoke, seeing what this guy's all about. But instead, he was just nothing. And
what's this shit with the Emperor coming back? We kill Snoke, and they're like, but the Emperor, am I right, guys? Come on.
Well, JJ probably had a plan for this trilogy, and Rian Johnson just comes in here and kills the plan. And so I'd say he had to improvise. I'd say he had to be like, God, I planned on there being some kind of Sith Lord in this.
They have the final cut and they're previewing it, and J.J. Abrams finishes the movie and he just looks at the guy and he's like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Oh,
did
I
you
bet
not
he was so
Did
mad.
you not watch the first one? Did you not? The one that I made, I set it up. Did you not watch it? Are you not paying attention?
Yeah. Apparently Rian Johnson's getting his own trilogy. Is that true? Did they take that from him? I know that was true. But after the backlash, is that still a thing?
It's still listed on IMDb, so I don't know.
I mean, good luck to you, brother.
They've been known to be wrong, too, with
yeah,
stuff.
And the thing about it is, I'm sure where it's going to be a new trilogy with all new characters, I mean, there's nothing he can really mess up. So, I mean, I'm sure it'll be all right. I'll tell you.
I'm sure he can mess it up.
Yeah, he'd find a way. The Last Jedi was a visually phenomenal movie. It was beautiful. It was a spectacle. That Luke scene at the end was one of the best scenes in Star Wars, period.
When he disappears.
Yeah, it wasn't all bad, but just...
No, it was all right. I did like seeing Yoda again.
Yeah, it was just
a puppet, not that CGI shit.
Yeah, it was just a complete lack of understanding of the characters, I think, that made that movie bad.
Yeah,
and I think
there were
everyone's come to terms with
weird
the fact it's
humor
bad.
moments in it.
Yeah,
it was almost like a comedy. I'm like, no.
They went for Marvel humor in a Star Wars movie.
Star Wars has got some funny stuff in it, but not to the level that he brought it.
And the funny stuff in Star Wars, Marvel humor is blatant. We are making a joke. This is the joke. Laugh. And Star Wars humor is more, it's more subtle. It's more of a serious story than a Marvel. Yeah. But, when Luke grabs that freaking creature's nip and starts sucking on it, and it's just like, this milk's pretty good, Ray. You've got to try this. I'm like, what?
I remember when she hands him the lightsaber and he just throws it over his shoulder. I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
What?"
that's the moment I think everyone was like, "Wait, is this gonna be bad?" Because that cliffhanger, we had been waiting for so long for that.
It was so anticlimactic.
And they just said, "Nope, sorry. I know you've been waiting for this for 2 years, but Luke doesn't care." It's like, oh, and then that was my biggest problem with it, the Luke. But I don't know how we got on the Star Wars: The Last Jedi rant. We do have Rise of the Skywalker here to talk about. What do you think this movie is going to be, in your opinion? How do you think you're going to walk out of this feeling?
I don't know. I don't think I'll care because I've pretty much given up. But I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
What do
there
you think
opening
about
night.
this dark? I don't know about opening night. I'll probably go like. Well, I usually have to wait for Maddie.
Yeah.
We always go to them together. What do you think about this dark ray shit, dude? With the double lightsaber.
If they actually go for a dark ray, which I don't think they will, but if they do, that would be awesome, in my opinion. Because that's one of the best stories in all of Star Wars. You can say whether or not they did it justice, but Anakin Skywalker turning to the dark side is one of the most iconic moments they've ever had. And if they somehow do turn Rey to the dark side, and some people think that she's kind of like a descendant of Palpatine, which would make sense given that he's such a big part of this movie. But at the same time, is Rey really going to betray everybody? She's not shown any kind of mental instability like Anakin did throughout the first two movies. So,
but when she was on that island, the first place she went was straight to the dark.
Yeah,
that is
true.
Do you know who Darth Plagueis is?
Yeah, Darth. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
Yeah, I think that he's gonna play. I think he's got something to do with this too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be.
I think they're gonna find a way to bring him in because that would make sense on why the Emperor's still alive because Darth Plagueis taught. It's not really in the I don't know if it's in the canon anymore.
Well, they talk about it in episode 3.
They talk about it briefly, but there's a special power that Siths can use if they're strong enough, where they can essentially move their soul to a different body.
Mm-hmm.
So what if Snoke was the Emperor reincarnated, and then when Kylo killed him, he went to a different body again, or maybe Snoke was Darth Plagueis in a different body. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the fact that Palpatine's in this movie, it's gonna be bananas either way. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what they have up their sleeve because I don't know how they're gonna bring him back. But I do hope. See, my biggest hope for episode 8, and it's why I was so excited for it. I thought they were gonna do the old switcheroo. I thought Kylo was gonna join the Jedi and the light side and go back to Luke, and I thought Rey was going to join the dark side, and I thought we were going to go into episode 9 with the roles completely reversed, and it was going to be like awesome, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson. I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting for sure. When does that movie come out? December?
Yeah, like December 20th, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, not too long of a wait. I mean, we're basically in September, so September, October, November, December, about 4 months.
There's some rumors that Darth Vader might be coming back too.
Don't do that. Yeah, please don't do that.
Well, I wonder if they by that if they mean like Anakin's Force Ghost.
Yeah, see, they could potentially do that, but Darth Vader cannot come back because Darth Vader has been redeemed.
Dead.
Yeah, and even if he did come back, I mean, he's not Darth Vader anymore.
If he comes back, I wonder if it's going to be Hayden Christensen.
I like to see it. I mean,
that'd be interesting.
I think Hayden Christensen gets a lot of flack for that trilogy. I think it was a lot of bad writing.
You can only do so much with that shit writing job that George Lucas gave.
Yeah, for real. I think a lot of that performance was the writing. I mean, because a lot of the stupid stuff he did and said were just the lines written for him. It wasn't like, the performance, like, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. It's like, what? Like just stuff like that. And the sand comment, like, what a stupid line. Like
my favorite line like that where it's really stupid is in episode 3 where Anakin and Obi-Wan are standing in the elevator. And Obi-Wan looks at me. He's like, "Did you press the elevator button?" And Anakin turns and looks at me. He's like, "No, did you?" And I'm like, "What kind of shit is this?"
I don't even remember that.
Did you?
Is that always when they get stuck in the elevator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Did you press the button?" He's like, "No, did you?"
Yeah, I was in I went out of town with Ethan the other day, and we were in this big building. We were in this big office building, and there was an elevator shaft, but the entire elevator shaft was exposed to where like you could like see up it, and like you could like, you know, from just standing behind the elevator, you could see the entire elevator shaft. There was no like glass between it. It was just a completely open elevator, which was insane. And I remember it made me think about I was like, man, this really reminds me of that scene from episode 3 of Star Wars where Anakin and Obi-Wan are standing in that shaft, because it feels like we're standing in an elevator shaft right now.
That's when you have to look at Ethan. You're like, "Did you press the button?" Like, "No, did you?"
Did you press the button? It was crazy, dude. It was such a nice building too, is the thing. Like we walked in that building and we were like, gosh, this place is nice. But then like just the fact that their elevator shaft just looks like it's completely like the wall's been ripped off. It was unsettling. We sat there for about an hour right next to it too, just watching it, because we were like an hour early, and the people we were supposed to be meeting were not getting there for an hour. Cause we made great time on that road trip. I mean,
yeah.
we left. We were like, we'll give ourselves about 45 minutes just in case, you know, traffic or something happens. But I mean, we didn't skip a beat. We just got there. I mean, we didn't know where we were going, but we just luckily pulled in, and I mean, it was one of my more successful road trips.
Now, when you guys turned around and went back home, what was the address of your home that you went back to?
Well, it was.
Oh my God, they did a callback, dude. They did that earlier in the podcast.
Yeah. We're good at those callbacks. So that's gonna be a staple for the CrossTalk podcast.
Oh no, don't set us up for that. Then we're
yeah.
gonna forget. But you guys said it was gonna be like that, and then they didn't do it.
Yeah, but
2 people that listen. Hi, Mom.
I think with that, I think we're at a pretty good spot to start winding this down. Get ready to end the podcast, right?
Or we still got to talk about that one thing, man.
Oh yeah, okay. Go ahead and set us up.
All right, so I come home. I went shopping. I come home and I see it trending on Twitter. We got some Funimation stuff trending on Twitter, and I'm like, well, gee, it must be for their new game, DBZ Kakarot, right? But no, the Dumbos that work in the recording booth have some leaked audio of them saying some stuff that's kind of a no-no.
It's so bad.
It's pretty bad.
It is so bad. And just the fact that, so basically they say some like homophobic slurs. And
there's some incest. You got that in there.
I mean, it is like as bad as you could imagine. And we were.
I could think of worse. But it's still pretty bad.
I guess I can think of worse too. But like, what idiot is the microphone is on? Even if you are just making these slurs on your own time, freaking, you think you'd be smart enough to not do it when you're recording and you're doing your test recording. Because
they do it for vocal warm-ups. That's how they were warming up to record their lines for the actual episodes.
Can't start off my recording without saying a few slurs.
Yeah, that's how you know it's going to be a good recording session.
It really gets the voice warmed up.
Oh, now they got a clip of us, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's the one out of context clip that's going to be posted.
It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. But I encourage everybody to watch these videos because it is just raw human idiocy displayed at its finest.
I know it's supposed to be bad, but
it's
so hilarious.
It is pretty funny. I because just of how stupid it is what's so funny. Like, they just keep going. Like, you're like, in your head, you're like, stop, please. And then they just throw out everything. And you're like, God, who was okay with this? Why? Why is this your vocal warm-up?
Just when you think, you're like, okay, this is bad, but it couldn't get any worse. And then you continue in the video and you're like, oh, they brought it.
Oh, yeah. Did the Dragon Ball Z voice actors get canceled?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. It's just now breaking, so we don't really know what's gonna happen yet.
Does cancel culture apply to voice actors?
Not anime.
Yeah, we're about to find out, I guess.
Well, they already had the one. He had some allegations of like sexual harassment. I don't really know much about the story that much, but it was Vic. I can't ever say his name. Vic Minanya.
Yeah, I have no
Something
clue.
like that. But he's like a pretty prominent voice actor in the anime community. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess good luck to you, brother. Was he in the video?
no, he wasn't in the video. He's already passed.
He's already been canceled.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, to these people in the video, I mean, I don't see how you get past that, to be honest with you. I don't know how you come back from that.
Shit, there's.
Watch the video, please. You'll be able to find it. Just look up Dragon Ball Z cast homophobic, and it should come up. I would imagine.
I just like the description we have on our little Google document. It just says DBZ homophobic.
I mean, that's all that needs to be said about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
That is all that needs to be said. It is a good video. That will go down in history.
I do wonder how it's going to affect the series though, cuz like they're still doing Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, I would imagine, if I just have to predict, they'll get a slap on the wrist and don't do it again, because I feel like that's how a lot of shit goes. Yeah, I feel like, they're like, better have a homophobic dude on our channel than to change the voice actor for Goku. Was it even the guy who voices Goku? I don't know, but like
it was the first one was him, the one saying the homophobic slur.
Dang. But yeah, I would imagine that nothing's gonna come of it, to be honest, just because that's how corporations work, and they're not gonna sacrifice that for the moral good,
They'll probably postpone the series for a little bit, and then as soon as it dies down, then it's back on.
Yeah, once my man makes an apology video, and
got to do some tears.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's basically all I have to say about it. You got any other takes?
I don't have any more takes on that. I think I'm good. I got it out of my system.
All right, and we did it. We did a podcast.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Check us out. We have the podcast should be available on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Google Podcasts. I'm also uploading it on SoundCloud, so there's all kinds of places you can watch and listen to this. So
I now have a SoundCloud to plug. This is a big day.
Yeah, it's a huge day. This is monumental. This is historic for the two people that listen to this.
Oh yeah, Austin Salyer, SoundCloud rapper.
And he lives at all right. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Actually, you won't see us because you can't see us, but that was a really bad outro. Save me.
Bye.